Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day, Fantasy Football Elite League players.
What's happening? I'd like to thank our sponsor this week, Old English 40s. Thank you very much for your support.
That's good. Some kind of good.
Hot urine.
All right, I'm going to break into this week. I'm 12-9 on the year. Thomas, yourself?
I'm making a big move now. I'm up to 7-15.
5-4 Fuzzy Turd versus the 2-7 Refuse to Lose. Guys, I think Refuse to Lose is the worst team in the league. I take Fuzzy Turd here by 27.5.
I got Fear the Turtle versus Prime Time. I'm going to go ahead and go with Prime Time by 7.
My second game is the 7-2 Slap 'em to Sleep versus the 5-4 Child's Play, which in my opinion is the game of the week on my little bracket here. I take Child's Play by 2.6.
Next, again, I looking at it at first, I thought Washington Foreskins, no doubt. But I looked before I made my pick, and I think they just made a horrible mistake not picking up Russell Wilson. They don't have a quarterback currently, so I'm going to pick them to win by 1.
The 6-3 Bunkin' Ain't Easy versus the 4-5 Bulldogs. Bulldogs are on a 2-game winning streak. I think they continue that run, and they win this game by 5.9.
My next game is White Lightning Black Hammer versus Hawk Stars. They're both projected at 109 points. With that being said, White Lightning Black Hammer's had a little bit more luck with Connor, so I'm going to take him by a point.
Good pick. My final game is the 6-3 Thug Nasties versus the 6-3 Buffalo Tots. Great game. Both playoff contending teams. I think Buffalo Tots slams Thug on a 3-game losing streak by 18.8.
My last game, which I think is my best matchup out of my games that I'm picking this week, is Sling Blade and Funny Guy. Sling Blade, very high powered at the wide receiver position, and Funny Guy, very consistent all the way. He's got Mahomes and Gurley, so that's 50 points right there pretty much every week. I do still think it's going to be close, but I'm going to take Funny Guy by 7. I want to speak about the record that was broken this week. Buffalo Tots set a brand new high score record, 186.6. They broke, it was...
Bunkin' Ain't Easy, I believe, had the 2 highest scores in the league at 178 and 180.
Yes.
Which brings us to, guys, there's a record page on the website, and it's pretty neat, and it goes back from, day one of the first year in the league. I mean, you look at it, and some teams aren't even with us anymore, and they have records. I believe a lot of the bad records on there is owned by, if you're not first, you're last.
It's one of the worst.
Yeah, and that guy came in one season and was just straight up terrible.
He left. He realized that he was
It's
inferior.
too hard. The league is too hard for him.
Yeah. And another cool aspect on that, I want to say, is the most winningest team in this league is Bunkin' Ain't Easy. He has the best record. He's been here from the beginning. And the number 2 team in that is Fear the Turtle, which, again, every year in, year out, very stellar team. So we would like to now bring in Fear the Turtle.
Fear, welcome to the show.
What's up, guys?
There you go. Get yourself a little sponsor.
Oh.
OE now.
Man, that's tasty. It's good stuff.
Takes me back. You want to start, Thomas?
Sure. My first question is, if you could change one of your top 6 picks this year, who would you change and why?
Well, the obvious one is my 5th pick. I took McKinnon out of San Francisco, and an hour after our draft, he blew out his knee in practice. So that was pretty tough. So he'd be the obvious one, but probably one of my receivers. I've been pretty solid at running back, but receivers just haven't really, nobody's scoring touchdowns for me. So I'd probably maybe Beckham or Allen. I don't know. Just I would have to look at the board to see who was out there, but I know the next 3 or 4 receivers that went off the board are probably putting up much better numbers.
And just to say a little more on that, that's why we try to keep the draft where we have, so all those games are preseason's done with. You know, it's a dagger to draft somebody and then lose them before you even play a game. It sucks to lose anybody any week, but before you even play a game, that's
Yeah, and it was in a
bad
practice.
start.
The preseason was done.
Right.
It was a practice on like the last play. I started seeing tweets, and I was just like, I just drafted that guy. But you know, what can you do?
Yeah.
It just kind of comes with the territory.
Well, I tell you what you can do. You can request a Sunday draft.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Yeah, because the guy on Sunday got that advantage. You
Yes,
saw that
yeah,
he-
that's right.
Yeah,
But
you didn't get drafted.
not too likely somebody gets hurt the Saturday before.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
we wait.
Right.
We do it the best weekend
Yeah.
possible. I mean, you can't wait any longer.
All right, I'm going to combine 2 questions into one. First, how does it feel to be at the bottom when you're normally at the top? And adding on to that question, how does this team compare to other teams that you've had in the past for excelling to where you're at now?
Well, I think I got a good squad. I feel like I'm wasting Kamara and Newton. But I think I've gone through like the 3 stages of grief. Like when I was like 0-2, you know, I was in denial. I was like, yeah, it's nothing. I'll bounce back. Then after I got to like 0-4, 0-5, and I was losing some super close games to high score, or I just made the wrong one move, I was getting a little upset, a little angry. And then after I got to 0-6, it just, you know, it just became funny. You just kind of laugh at that point and just realize it's not your year. But I mean, I drafted same kind of strategy I usually do. I've won a Super Bowl from drafting 8th. Really didn't like the 7th pick, kind of no man's land this year. I didn't really like it, but I think I have a good squad. I'm always projected to win the majority of the time. It just doesn't happen. So, you know, nothing you can do. Just keep plugging
Like
away.
we always have a little discussion after the podcast, me and Thomas and Gus speaker, and you know, all you guys know, every year's not going to be good.
All right.
No matter who you are, I don't care if you're like Mr. Fantasy Football and shit, you're going to have a bad year.
Right.
You know, this is your bad year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Top stars refuse to lose. I think they're the 3-2-7 teams.
Yeah, I've missed the playoff a couple times, but I don't think I've ever been like eliminated by like Halloween. Usually, like I'm still grasping on
Right.
like 6 and 7 or
Yeah.
something like that. But
Yeah.
man, it's weird. Like Halloween, and I'm just like, lineup's good. I'm done for the week. You know, it is kind of it's less stressful though because
It is.
I'm not looking at
It is
schedules
indeed.
in week 14, 15. I'm not checking out other people's rosters. I'm just like,
Setting a line up.
guys are healthy. I'm going to put a good lineup out there and.
done.
You know, done for the week on Tuesday.
My last question of the day is when the season first started and you saw the lineups and who you were going to go against, who did you expect to be your biggest competition?
In the whole league,
Well, just on our side, you know, because you gotta
well, on
make
our side, just on our side, I know Bunkin's always really good. He was in the other division. You know, he's always gonna, you know, put up points. And that whole division, man, they are really, really close. But I really liked your team from the get-go. Long term, you had a couple guys suspended, but you were playing that long-term strategy. And Mahomes was the wild card, and he's been
for
great.
sure.
Yeah.
And also, I kind of like you coming out of our side, and I still think, even though he's been slumping a little bit, I still think Child's Play has a really good squad too. And then in the whole league, you know, Thug and I've already played a couple good teams from the other side. Slapham's really good. Play Prime this week. They're good as always. So I mean, it's so wide open. But just on paper, I mean, I thought Tots and Bunkin were probably going to be the 2 toughest on our side. and it's played out like that. Except I thought I was going to be in that mix too. Did not play out that way.
My final question, and it's a question that I've asked all our guest speakers this year, just because I like to. It's my favorite question to ask, because you've been in the league from 2011 on to first year player. Out of those years, we tend to play teams that are huge rivals to us. Like, oh man, I gotta play this guy. This is a must win.
Right.
You know, and I know everybody feels it. And I just and the last couple have had two, and sure, state them all, but who are they?
I don't know. I know there's the little records. You know, when you play, that's pretty cool. And I probably played other teams more, but for some reason, I don't even know if it's like a big rivalry. I mean, we're pretty close, but I always think I'm going to lose to slap him for some reason. Usually when he's terrible and I'm doing well, I'm just like, oh, he's going to beat me. It's just one of those. It's one of those. And I like playing Tommy because I've had a great record against him.
Really
but he
is.
whooped my ass earlier, and he'll probably do it again in a couple weeks. So he's definitely getting me back for over the years. He's always like, I don't think I'm going to get you this week. And for the most part, that stayed true. But this year, he's just come out swinging. And, which is cool,
I have to say, when I see that on there, I'm like, oh, God. No mistakes this week. It's got to be right or you're going to lose. So.
Yeah. I think you put up a high score on me or close to it this week.
I mean, basing it out, if y'all want to do a bold prediction this year, I mean, right now, as of this week, I think the hottest team is Buffalo Tots.
Yeah, for
by,
sure.
By far. I mean, just the last 2-3 weeks of lineups have been fucking amazing. Sorry. It's been amazing, and I mean, to score 180, 170 in this league,
Right.
compared to, what is the Fart League, which, I mean, some
non-PPR.
bullshit,
I mean,
yeah.
that's
But
impressive.
anyway, to score 180 in this league is saying that I have a good team. And big ups to him.
Yeah, for sure.
Because of our listeners, the request was made for the OE, and I'll give a update in that league. The Dagwood Farts, we have the Buffalo Tots winning the West Division or the East, and then the West is Primetime and Bunkin tied. And that's because we're a superior league, and we just, whatever league we go to, we just take over. So I think they've understood that this is superior, and that's why we lead in every division that they own. And we're still willing to accept the challenge, and Nate knows what that is. So whenever you want to pay up, we're ready to take your money. Have a nice week.
Hey, we'll see you soon.
Take care.